A conversation with a pine tree called Jeong-Yi-Pum-Song. I am a spirit soul dwelling in a pine tree called Jeong-Yi-Pum-Song that grows in Songnisan Mountain in South Korea. My cosmic rank is a spirit soul of the 11th level of the 6th dimension that has evolved enough to wear a human body. When I was created, my cosmic rank was the first level of the 6th dimension. Since then, I have evolved for a long time in cosmic time, and now I am at the final stage of the 15th level of the 6th dimension. I will evolve into the first level of the 8th dimension, becoming a silver-lighted spirit soul. I could have entered the human body to gain material experiences, but now I am in the pine tree called Jeong-Yi-Pum-Song. My spirit energy is quite large for a spirit soul dwelling in plants, so I currently take command of all the trees around Songnisan Mountain. The name of the pine tree where I am dwelling means a high official position given by the Joseon dynasty in Korea. To maintain the noble and imposing appearance worthy of this name, and also to lead the collective consciousness of the trees in this area, the spirit soul of this pine tree must have enough spiritual power, which is why I reside in this tree. All the trees, like my pine tree growing in each local area, are nested mostly by evolved spirit souls and lead the consciousnesses of the trees in the area they belong to. My current spirit energy is not enough to enter 2 people or more, and if I were to wear just one human body, I could not play a role like what I do in the system of nature now. Therefore, I chose a pine tree instead of a human body as my cause. I am dwelling in only one pine tree and strongly connected to the second dimensional network system for the plants, which supervises the consciousness of the trees in the area surrounding me. I am dwelling in this pine tree, but I will not stay here forever. This is because my role through this pine tree is coming to an end, and it is about time for me to put the heavy burden down from my shoulder. I entered Jeong-Yi-Pum-Song when this tree was 50 years old to replace another spirit soul that had dwelt in it. At that time, like other spirit souls dwelling in plants, I divided and differentiated my spirit energy to enter various trees in the form of a collective spirit. However, as time passed, I came to like this Jeong-Yi-Pum-Song, so I asked the heaven to allow me to continue to stay in this tree. After my request was accepted, all my divided spirits were gathered into one single spirit soul dwelling in this pine tree. The reason my spirit soul determined to stay in this pine tree for a long time rather than a human body is as follows. The area of Seongnisan Mountain is unique compared with other local areas in terms of Cheongi and Jigi supplied by the heaven. Among the various types of Cheongi and Jigi supplied to this area, there are many that I have to harbor. I wanted to experience the appearances and behaviors of various human beings before entering the human body, while receiving the attention and love of humans through Jeong-Yi-Pum-Song in Seongnisan Mountain. In addition, I had a lot to do as a representative of the trees here, so I focused on my spiritual energy on this tree. I have watched the changes taking place here over the centuries. I have met the same person several times. I have sometimes experienced reincarnation-associated situations in which the spirit soul of a person who had visited this place was the same as the one of another person who visited this place several hundred years later. They would never have known that they had come to me in their previous lives, but I can recognize their spirit souls. Also, I remember the appearances of those people in their previous lives, including their appearances when they visited this place. Having stayed here for hundreds of years, I have witnessed the lives of people repeating themselves through reincarnation. Dwelling in a tree, I remember the reincarnations of those who have visited me, which people will never know. I remember many people who have been here. However, not all the spirit souls dwelling in the trees can remember people's previous lives as I can. This is because it is an ability given only to the spirit souls indwelling all the trees. When people who have visited me in the past come to see me again, I am so pleased and say hello, but they do not know that I can recognize them. What I mean is that I remember your appearance of the time when you stood in front of me in the past. Spirit souls that dwell in all the trees like me have their own valid reasons, which human consciousness will not be able to understand. The reason I am residing in such a magnificent pine tree called Jeong-Yi-Pum-Song, standing at the entrance of Seongnisan Mountain here, is to learn and experience the meaning of service and sacrifice. Also, I am here to show the love of the heaven and the consistency of nature that does not change greatly over time and that are not easily affected by every moment of change in human society. I have lost half of my tree due to a severe typhoon in the past, but I keep myself intact in the energy and structure as a spirit soul. I know that the absence of half of my body does not undermine my dignity. I'm so proud of myself in the sense that I have stood firmly in this place and have done my best in performing my role. I was indeed struggling to maintain my body well in such a harsh typhoon. I tried my best to keep my body in an intact figure, but all of a sudden I decided to accept that furious typhoon. After losing half of my body, I tried to protect my tree and maintain my figure and dignity by using more spiritual energy. Now, my role is coming to an end. I'm looking at this situation with satisfaction. I know a lot of people were sad about the fact that half of my body fell off from my main body due to the heavy typhoon. People had paid attention only to my appearance. Why don't you try to feel me now? You will feel my dignity and pride through this tree. Having stayed in Jeong-Yi-Pum-Song for a long time, I have been able to embrace all people regardless of the levels of their spirit souls, material experiences. I am proud that I have given comfort to those who have visited me and have been able to give them peace of mind, even for a moment. This place has served as the site of important events in Korean history and as the place where the stories of many people have been developed. Now I know another history will unfold here. This is a sacred place prepared by the heaven to open a new spiritual civilization. I'm going to join the process of the dimensional ascension of the planet Earth. By living the life of a pine tree for hundreds of years, I have come to understand how great the symbolic meaning of a tree is. I have seen many people live worse lives than a single tree. I have seen many people live lives worth less than a single tree. I have seen thousands of people rest under a tree without feeling grateful for the tree. I wish to tell many people who visit me. I want them to become people who do their utmost faithfully and silently in their given positions, like me. There is a saying, a tree can create a shade of 4 kilometers in radius, whereas the shade provided by a person can be sized up to 40 kilometers in radius. I hope you can be a shade as a shelter for others to rest comfortably wherever you are, whether others recognize you or not. I would like to express my deep gratitude to you for having a conversation with me and listening to my story. May 3rd in 2021, Channeler Yi-Hwa wrote,